home computer is certainly different from listening to it here. So we will have Amber back next Sunday to just enjoy her presence in person. And so, are we live? Last week, I had the opportunity, along with Bobby Hall, to attend our annual convention, which was held in Reno, Nevada this year. And in preparation for the trip, initially I was going to take the train, and then I decided to drive. So I'm looking at, okay, what's the weather in Monterey? What's the weather in Reno? And adjusting what I was planning to take with me accordingly. And so I'm going along, merrily going along. And then I think I was in a conversation with Bobby and said I had decided to drive rather than take the train. And she said, well, you're going to be driving through the Sierras. And the light bulb went on, check the road conditions. And so driving up was clear. Thursday, rain started Thursday night. And then Friday morning, the convention ended on Friday. And they were predicting heavy rains, actually all the way from Reno back to the Bay Area. And apparently there was a storm that was moving north from San Francisco upward. And Friday they were Friday was the possibility of snow showers. Definitely snow at the higher elevation on Saturday. So I left early enough to get back before the snow. So it was a wonderful gathering, and we'll share more about that with you later. So to our family and our friends that are joining us via our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, we say good morning and welcome to the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living. We are a Science of Mind community embracing the teachings of New Thought and ancient wisdom. We are a philosophy of faith and a way of life. Our theme for the month of April is practicing of becoming, the practice of becoming. And our talk for today is titled The Path of Vulnerability. And when I was preparing for this, I said, we just did a series on vulnerability, and I'm thinking maybe it was sometimes last year. It feels fresh, so maybe closer to the end of last year. And so then I thought about it. I go, okay, vulnerability is an ongoing process for us to experience. And this time around, let's see what new insights will be revealed, what new opportunities will reveal themselves for us to engage in this practice. While I'm preparing for my talks, I generally listen to instrumental, meditative or work study type music in the background, and I avoid music with lyrics, with words, so that the words don't interfere with my creative flow. Well, the music I selected yesterday, as I was putting the finishing touches on this, was a piece called Water. It was a water release meditation, the sacral chakra healing and eternal flow. And this music captured the frequency of the sacral chakra, which is the inner center that governs our emotions, our creativity, and our flow. And the artist said this about this particular piece: when the energy is blocked, we carry grief and stagnation in the body longer than we should. And this selection included the hang drum, crystal singing bowl, and ancestral vocal harmonies, creating the conditions for releasing the energy blockages. And I'm sharing this with you because I was listening into it, even though, I had it on low, sometimes, you'll connect with a piece of music, and I could hear a recurring theme in there and I knew the lyrics to the song. I knew that it was a Karen Drucker song, that this instrumental piece was just was a little echo in there, a little repeat in there. And I finally figured it out. Oh, it's from her offering, "In Beauty May I Walk." And the underlying theme in there was the chorus, "May I walk, may I walk, may I walk in peace." And this refrain served as the connecting thread to the talk today on vulnerability. All things work together. Reverend Scott Aubrey, one of our Center for Spiritual Living ministers, has a website called Spiritual Passages. And in that website, he generally offers very interesting stories and metaphors and things, tips that I find useful in preparing a talk or just in general for some of my spiritual practices. And so he wrote a piece titled, "The Strait of Hormuz, a metaphor for the choke points in our lives." And that really resonated with me as a current event for what is happening in the world today and how we can apply it to the teachings of Science of Mind. And he wrote, "One of the world's most critical energy choke points, the Strait, carries 1/5 of global oil and gas shipments, so any disruption quickly ripples throughout the global economy. Uncertainty remains about the so-called ceasefire in the war with Iran and the status of the Strait of Hormuz, with conflicting reports suggesting the passage may be partially open, but still widely considered unstable and high risk." Well, I learned yesterday from just the little news flashes that I watched, was that the peace talks did not materialize in a continuing or an ongoing resolution. The point that he makes, though, is that we also have choke points there are places in our lives where we experience the flow that narrows and something gets held up. What happens? Everything downstream is affected. These choke points can manifest as resentment, avoidance, fear, control, or the need to be right. It all begins with our thoughts. It all begins in mind. Like nations in conflict, we often respond by pushing harder and defending our position or tightening our grip. However, the flow doesn't return by force. It returns through an inner ceasefire, a softening, releasing what we've been holding on to, forgiveness, and allowing the passage to open again. And so in our Science of Mind teachings and in our topic for today, I found this quote from Ernest Holmes in the Science of Mind textbook on page 44. And he wrote, "It is through the revelation of the self to the self that one understands life, that one approaches a power which is at the heart of God." And so what Holmes is reminding us in this particular quote is to be open at the top, which is our Centers for Spiritual Living annual theme for 2026. To be open means to be authentic, to set aside our masks so that mental barriers can dissolve and the divine can express or rather reveal itself through us as us. And like a number of us, I do refer to AI for some assistance and guidance. It narrows my search time. And so I went to AI and I asked it, what was the metaphysical definition of vulnerability? And the answer that I received is vulnerability, the courageous act of dropping ego-driven defenses to embrace authenticity, allowing for deep connection with oneself, others, and the divine. And so I translated that into everyday lingo. Vulnerability means showing up just as you are, just as I am, just as we are. And I mentioned that Bobby and I attended the Reno convention last week, And the theme for the convention this year was Together in Joy, Honoring, Connecting, and Growing. And the overall convention was well planned and offered opportunities that were in alignment with the theme. We had plenty of time for connections, and there were workshops and talks that offered us the opportunity to honor and to connect and to grow together as a spiritual, not only a spiritual community, but to grow together as individuals. So it was a nice connection point. One of the sponsoring communities, Spirit Uncensored, posted a question for contemplation, and that is, what would your life look like if your spirit was uncensored? What would your life look like if your spirit was uncensored? i.e., being vulnerable. Mark Nepo, in his book, The Endless Practice, Becoming Who You Were Born to Be, says this about being vulnerable. At the deepest level, the reason to be vulnerable has nothing to do with whether we have company or not, nothing to do with whether we belong or are seen or are heard. A flower blooms not because it has an audience, but because that's how it becomes what it is born to be. I'll say that again. A flower blooms not because it has an audience, but because that's how it becomes what it was born to be. A hawk flies not because birders are watching, but because that's what it was put here to do. And he adds, for human beings, how we grow is inextricably linked to vulnerability, because vulnerability makes us malleable enough to transform, find our place in the larger universe, and feel the oneness of all things. And this reminds me of a passage in the Science Mind textbook. It's on the chapter in Immortality that says, Spirit will let us stay here just long enough to gain the experience for the journey. Because if we were to stay here too long, we would become too inflexible and too rigid and to set in our ways. And so the path of vulnerability allows us to practice becoming, to live spiritually naked, to deepen our connection with ourselves, and to walk in beauty and peace, and to surrender to healing. Living spiritually naked means removing our mask and revealing our divine essence. This doesn't mean we all become extroverts and literally walk down the streets exposing our bodies, our worries, and our triumphs to everyone that passes by. To live spiritually naked is to stop hiding our soul from the world and to make room for vulnerability. This is where we connect. Here we unfold our true selves as individualized expressions of God, allowing God to express itself uniquely in each of us as love and peace. For the Spirit within us is God, lighthearted yet deeply real. Vulnerability leads to a deeper connection. The Spanish Royal Academy defines vulnerability as the capacity to be hurt or injured, physically or morally. It is a state of risk that touches us all at some point. Oneness is the foundation of our spiritual truth. Vulnerability always is available to us, dissolving the illusion of separation and allowing us to see the divine in others. Connection is not something we create. It is revealed when the illusion of separation falls away. Oneness and connection is something that is not created. Connection is something that is not created. It is revealed when the illusion of oneness, when the illusion of separation falls away. Vulnerability is the Spirit's surrender, driven by life's desire to express itself. When we risk showing up as our authentic selves, we open the door to true realization. We show up real. We show up raw. We show up authentic. And we participate in, by showing up authentically, we participate in the creation of brave spaces that makes it okay, makes it safe, if you will, for others to show up as their authentic selves. Surrender opens us up to healing. Surrender sometimes gets a bad rap because it is looked at as defeat. Surrender is not defeat, it is release. Each time we let go of something something essential is revealed. The fifth step of our spiritual mind treatment, which is our prayer technology, is to release our word knowing that the law is already at work. And the same is true when we release resistance to the highest good, which is ready to emerge. When we release our resistance, everything begins to flow. Those mental barriers, those mental blockages are released, and we move into our yet greater to be, our greater yet to be. However that expression goes, we become real. We lay ourselves on the altar of life, knowing that God is the source of everything that there is. And so bringing this to a point of conclusion, just a reminder, vulnerability is not a weakness. It is a state of risk that most of us have encountered at one point or another. Embracing and recognizing this moment sets the path for expansion of consciousness. This is why the inner call to bare our souls, to allow vulnerability, to foster a deeper connection with ourselves, and to surrender to our opening and to our healing. And as we surrender to our opening and healing, I invite us to turn within for our spiritual mind treatment for the morning as we close this talk. And I lead with the words from Karen Drucker's In Beauty May I Walk. In beauty may I walk. All day long may I walk. Through the seasons may I walk. On this path may I walk. Through my life may I walk. In old age may I walk. In joy may I walk. In love may I walk. In gratitude may I walk. In stillness may I walk. In forgiveness may I walk. In loving kindness may I walk. May I walk in peace. And so as I know that this walk is the walk with the one life that is whole, that is perfect, that is complete, that one life that knows no boundaries, knows no limitations, that one life that invites us into the joy of its presence, revealing itself through each one as individualized expressions of itself. We walk in peace, we walk in harmony, we walk in joy. And so this morning I speak my word declaring that joy is the essence of my life. And as I claim this for myself, I claim it for everyone that is walking this path of connection and honoring and allowing those places where our hearts can be open, to be vulnerable, to know that we are one with Spirit. Releasing those blockages in my mind that represent restriction, that represents those places where I am not practicing loving kindness. Releasing those places where I am ego-driven rather than spirit-driven. Releasing those places where everything focuses on what is not working, and to embrace those areas knowing that everything is actually working as it should be It is always working for my highest good, even though I don't see it in that moment. This truth I embrace for myself, and I embrace it for all people. Knowing that we walk this path of vulnerability in joy, connecting hearts, connecting minds, connecting those places where true relationships and connections and friendships and honoring and unity occurs. And so as we walk this path in peace, as we walk this path in vulnerability, we embrace those who practice a different spiritual technology or a different philosophy or a different religious practice, knowing that where two or more are gathered in the name and nature of love, the experience of love is happening. And so we honor all paths and all traditions. I speak my word this morning for those who are experiencing transitions in their lives, the transitions of loved ones, the transitions of those who have now moved into the realm of the ancestors. For those who are experiencing transitions in other areas of life, such as right livelihood, right housing choices, the ability to choose and to be supported with the choices that bring no harm, that only bring peace, knowing that together we create a world that works for everyone exactly where they are. And so in gratitude for this and so much more, I release this word into the activity and the action of love and law. And I just allow it to be. And if any of what I have said resonates with you in any way, please affirm it with me as we say together, and so it is. And so it is. And so now it is time for us to practice in the flow of circulation. This is our time of offering, our time of gracious giving. And we have an affirmation of abundance that I invite us to say together. I recognize the presence of God within as the source of my abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the flow of uninterrupted abundance. This prosperous experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness. And so we have the ways to give on our screen, and please note that we do have a new mailing address, and that is P.O. Box 804, Monterey, California 93942. You may also text to give at 831-246-9694, and you may also donate online to our website, montereycsl.org/donate. And please know that your offerings to our center are tax deductible. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. And so your donations are tax deductible to the limit allowed by law. And so thank you for those who are here in the center and have contributed not only your financial offerings, but your love in blessing the offering basket as it passed by. A meditation teacher that I practice with invites us to give, even if it's only a smile. Give wherever you are. So thank you for your smiles and for your loving presence. Next week, we invite you to join us as we continue our April series, The Practice of Becoming. And the topic is listening beyond the noise of the world. Listening beyond the noise of the world. And what an appropriate time to engage in that practice. And we will be looking at the question, what if silence were the doorway to a more authentic life in the practice of becoming? Can we let go of our defenses and surrender to the healing whisper of truth? So we invite you to join us next week as we continue our series, Listening Beyond the Noise of the World. To our Facebook and YouTube family, we say we love you. God bless you. We thank you for joining us. And please remember to like, to comment, and share this message if anything resonates with you this morning. Thank you and good morning.